He walked into the small, quiet diner on a rainy afternoon, not expecting his life to change forever. Daniel Carter, a billionaire known for his ruthless business decisions and cold demeanor, was only there to escape the suffocating pressure of the corporate world for a while. He sat in the farthest booth, alone, unnoticed, watching the world outside blur through the rain-streaked window. His son, Ethan, sat across from him in his wheelchair. Ethan was 9 years old, unable to walk or use his hands properly since birth. His bright, curious eyes were his only way of fully connecting with the world. Daniel loved his son more than anything, but guilt always lingered in his heart. He had always felt like he was failing Ethan, too focused on growing his empire to truly be there for him. As Daniel scrolled through endless emails on his phone, a soft, cheerful voice interrupted his thoughts. "Hey, champ. You hungry?" It was the waitress. Young, probably in her 20s, wearing a slightly faded uniform but with a kindness in her smile that immediately warmed the cold space between them. Daniel barely looked up. He simply ordered coffee for himself and some pancakes for Ethan, expecting the meal to come and go like every other. But instead of rushing away, the waitress, her name tag read Maya, knelt beside Ethan with patience and genuine care. She chatted with him, even though he struggled to form words. She waited for his responses, laughed at his soft sounds, and took the time to understand what he wanted. Daniel watched quietly, unsure why this stranger cared so much. When the food arrived, Maya returned quickly to feed Ethan, sensing that Daniel wasn't used to doing it himself. She was gentle, cutting the pancakes into small pieces, feeding him slowly, always watching his expressions to make sure he was comfortable. Ethan's face lit up with happiness, and for the first time in a long time, Daniel saw his son truly laugh. Something stirred inside him. A sharp pinch of realization. Daniel could afford the best doctors, therapists, and caretakers in the world, yet it was this waitress, this ordinary woman, who made his son feel seen and cherished. As the minutes passed, Daniel couldn't stop observing Maya. She worked hard, attending to other tables, but always returned to Ethan with the same warm energy. When her manager scolded her for wasting time with one table, Maya simply nodded and continued doing what she felt was right. Curious, Daniel stayed longer than planned. When Maya stepped outside during her short break, he followed. The rain had softened to a drizzle. "Why do you care so much?" he asked bluntly, his voice lacking the softness it should have carried. Maya looked at him, surprised but not intimidated. "Because he matters. Just because someone's disabled doesn't mean they don't deserve patience and kindness. And you," she paused, choosing her words carefully. "You look like you haven't really been present for him." Daniel's chest tightened. No one spoke to him like that. People usually feared him or tiptoed around his wealth. "I'm just his dad. I'm not good at this," Daniel admitted, his voice breaking ever so slightly. "I can build skyscrapers, negotiate billion-dollar deals, but I don't know how to be with him." Maya smiled gently. "You don't have to know everything. You just have to show up." Something shifted in him that day. For years, he'd been throwing money at the problem, hiring the best people, but he had never simply been there. Watching Maya's natural compassion, Daniel realized what his son truly needed wasn't another expensive caretaker. He needed his father. Daniel thanked Maya and left a generous tip, though he knew no amount of money could truly repay what she'd unknowingly given him. But the story didn't end there. 2 days later, Maya received a letter. Inside was an invitation to interview for a new role, personal caregiver and family assistant for Daniel and Ethan. It came with a salary that could change her life, but more importantly, the letter expressed how deeply Daniel valued her heart, not just her skills. Tears filled Maya's eyes. She wasn't rich, she wasn't powerful, but she had made a difference. Over the months that followed, Daniel changed. He spent more time with Ethan, learning from Maya how to care, how to play, how to simply listen. The bond between father and son grew stronger, and Daniel slowly became the dad Ethan always needed. And as for Maya, she found herself not just with a new job, but part of a new family. Her kindness had opened the heart of a man who had almost forgotten how to love. Sometimes, the smallest acts of kindness can create the biggest changes. Sometimes, a simple meal shared in a quiet diner can rewrite an entire life. And sometimes, the people we least expect can end up saving us.